then it's a huge red flag that the company has a very serious concern for its future. Okay? Remember, I don't think I told you this, or maybe I did, I'll remind you of it. If they have negative or anemic operating cash flow, it means they have one of three choices. They could actually choose all three. Number one, they have to eat into their cash savings, which we all know as individual citizens, you can't do that forever, you'll run out. Number two, they can start selling off their income-generating assets, which of course if we keep doing that, we won't have any assets from which we can generate income. So that's not sustainable. Number three, we can start issuing common stock and bonds, and investors are smart. If you keep losing cash flow, and one thing we haven't talked about, but the stock market is highly dependent upon future cash flows, right? More so than net income, but this is not a finance class. So if we keep going back to the well, you keep going back to the investors and say, hey, give me money, they're eventually going to close their hands in their wallet and say, forget it, I'm done. I'm not giving you any more money. Every time I give you money, you waste it. So we can't continue very long term if we have negative or very small or immaterial operating cash flow. So the first comment I would make is this company appears to be very healthy. It has significant operating cash flow. The second comment I would make is that they have so much of it that they decided to expand by buying more equipment. And maybe, I would hypothesize, they sold off some equipment and land that they weren't using. Because they didn't need the cash, but they decided they didn't want it, so they got rid of it. Finally, this is the part I think that's interesting, they returned some of this excess cash to their shareholders through a cash dividend. And since they had so much operating cash flow and they had positive net income, the bondholders decided to convert from a fixed rate return, which we know is in the form of interest, to share in the equity, the increasing pie, right? If the pie is increasing, then the stock price must also be increasing. And they want to buy low and sell high just like the rest of us do. That's the story, right? That's the story that the cash flow statement can tell us. It's probably 95% accurate. So why is the cash flow so important? It helps predict the future. It helps us understand what management's strategy and intentions are based upon how they decide to spend their most valuable asset, which is cash. And if I'm going to invest in this company and I see bondholders converting, I see big chunks of operating cash flow, I see expansion, I see a return to the shareholders, it's a no-brainer. I buy this stock if I have the resources and I can't find a better use for it. Okay, any questions? Okay, I need to show you your team assignments. In this class,